Let's talk waiver wire pitcher decisions up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FPT in 5 on Thursday, June 13th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White, and 4 waiver wire options from Wednesday. Jake Irvin turned in yet another quality start at the Tigers. 6 innings, 1 run, 5 strikeouts. He has turned in 5 straight quality starts and has allowed 2 earned runs or less in 10 of 14 outings this season. Jose Soriano threw a career-high 8 innings at the Diamondbacks. He allowed 2 runs, had 5 strikeouts with 12 whiffs on 97 pitches, getting lots of ground balls, up to a 61% ground ball rate for Jose Soriano. Cade Povich, much better in his second career start up against the Braves. 6 shutout innings with 6 strikeouts, had 14 whiffs on 89 pitches. And on the other side of that game, Spencer Schwellenbach, a quality start, 6 innings, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts. Scott, how would you rank these 4? Schwellenbach, Povich, Soriano, and Jake Irvin.
Okay, so Jake Irvin is number 1, and I think he's a pretty clear number 1 at this point. I understand he's Jake Irvin, and it was kind of a punchline coming into the year, but he's just been so consistent. Maybe in a more typical league environment, I would count on regression here, but with the way the ball is playing this year, I think Irvin can keep doing this. Elite control, 1.7 walks per 9. His FIP is basically in line with his ERA. Now, the xFIP is higher, but I think in a year when we can't really anticipate how often a fly ball is going to turn into home run, which is what xFIP measures, we kind of just got to look at the home run rate, which is what FIP measures. How many home runs has he actually allowed? And so I think that's the fact that it's in line with Jake Irvin's ERA suggests that he's doing just as well as he should be doing and pitching deep enough into games to give you quality starts. I'm not saying Jake Irvin is a stud, but we're to a point now where he probably needs to be rostered in most leagues, all but the shallowest. Number 2 would be Jose Soriano, elite ground ball pitcher, 60%. He actually leaned on that sinker even more in this start and got good results with it. I like it. His secondary pitches enough, and he throws so hard. I think he could be a bigger strikeout pitcher if he tried to. But ground ball pitcher, elite ground ball pitcher, still good. Walks kind of high. Relief pitcher eligible, helps in points leagues. I would say Soriano probably needs to be rostered in 60-65% of leagues, something like that. So he'd be number 2. The rookies here, Cade Povich and Spencer Schwellenbach, distant 3 and 4. Not confident either is going to stick around for long. They faced off against each other here today, and Povich looked better, got a lot more strikeouts, a lot more whiffs against a Braves lineup that has really struggled for a month and a half now. So he had that going for him. But I like that he threw a lot more strikes. He showed that some of that swing and miss potential he had in the minors can work in the majors too, particularly with the curveball. Schwellenbach has elite control and a wide arsenal, so I think there's stuff to like there too. But again, until their rotation spots are really solid and we've seen them go on a run in such a pitching-rich environment, I think you can leave Povich and Schwellenbach on waivers in most leagues.
Those are the waiver wire ads. What about the drops? Reese Olson has been getting clobbered in June. 3 starts, a 10.43 ERA, a 2.18 whip, still 66% rostered. Scott, would you drop Reese Olson for any of the names we just mentioned?
Probably not. Probably not. So in shallower leagues, clearly Jake Irvin is more usable than Olson right now. So I certainly don't have a problem with that if you're looking for someone you can start right now. Soriano, I'm not sure I'm sold on the consistency for him yet. But again, I'd rather start Soriano than Olson next week. So if you have to do that, okay. I still think in the long run, rest of season, I like Olson more than those two because he has a very rare quality. 2 pitches, 2 secondary offerings, the slider and changeup with better than a 40% whiff rate. Usually having 1 pitch like that is great. Reese Olson has 2, and he throws them a lot. He throws them just as often as the fastball, basically. They're all about 25% usage. But I guess the fastball is so bad that maybe it needs to be even lower than 25% usage. I don't know. 2 starts ago, he had an ERA below 2. but the last 2 starts have gone very poorly for Reese Olson. So I get it. You drop him in shallow leagues. He's probably not getting picked up. You definitely don't want to start him right now. I get all of that. But if I'm just doing rest of season rankings, I'm still going to put Olson ahead of both Jake Irvin and Jose Soriano.
Jose
Soriano.
What about Javier Assad? Last 5 starts, a 5.33 ERA, a 1.62 WHIP. Walks and home runs have been a big problem. He's still 84% rostered. Do you drop Javier Assad for any of those names?
Easily drop Assad for Irvin. The best thing Assad has going for him is relief pitcher eligibility, but Jose Soriano has that too. So I think I'd drop Assad for Soriano as well. Assad does have the low ERA still, but it's trending up, and I think it'll continue to trend up. Truth is, he wasn't even all that usable when his ERA was tiny because he so rarely works deep into games. He's only had 3 starts. Again, even when he was pitching well, where he went 6 innings. So I think Assad is very droppable at this point.
All right. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Odyssey app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.